Do you want to improve the relationship you have with your child? Do you want to improve the relationship you have with your wife or significant other? Heck, while we're at it, we might as well improve our friendships and the relationships we have at work too. In this video, we are learning about empathy. It's an amazingly effective way to improve the way that you deal with people. Hey guys, I'm Jason Kreidman, and this is Dad University. We release a new episode every Thursday, so be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. I wanted to start with a story. When my daughter was 4 or 5 years old and just starting kindergarten, she's getting ready in the morning, and I noticed that she was a little bit more frazzled this one morning. So we're doing our normal hurry routine to get out the door. And of course I yell, "Get your shoes on, let's go." She yells back at me, "I can't find my shoes," and begins crying. And of course I respond back in typical male sensitivity. "How do you not know where your shoes are? We have a rack that we put our shoes on every day. What happened to your shoes?" She replies, "I don't know," and goes from crying into hysterical. Now, as a grown man, if I can't find my shoes, I might look a little further, and then especially if I'm in a hurry, I just find another pair of shoes. It's not that big of a deal. I grab another pair of shoes, get her in the back seat, and all the way to school, she is beside herself. It's a total meltdown. Those were her favorite shoes, and she couldn't find them. What an awesome way to start the day, Jason. Later that day, I was reflecting on how I could have possibly handled that situation differently. I didn't want to get upset, and I certainly didn't want to make my daughter upset either. I had failed to realize that for a 5-year-old who had just started kindergarten, who was feeling the stress of the routine and getting accustomed to how it all worked, that not finding her favorite shoes was a big deal. It wasn't to me, but it was for her. So I thought about it and realized that empathy could have really helped me and her in that situation. And here's the cool part. When you have young children, there are lots of opportunities like this to try it again. Within a few days, guess what? We have another shoe crisis on our hands. I see my daughter in the morning getting a little upset again, but this time I step in immediately and ask, "Hey, are you having some trouble finding your shoes again?" And she looks up at me and is about to cry, and I said, "Oh, that is frustrating. You think your shoes are right here, and then they're not." And she looks up at me and she nods her head. Basically, I averted a crisis. And I said, "Hey, do you want me to help you find your shoes?" And so we ended up finding the shoes near the front door, and we were off to school. The purpose of me sharing this story was that the second time around, I used empathy. And guess what? It wasn't a big deal to me, but I realized in that situation that it was a big deal to her. And when I handled it that way, she felt better, and so did I. We men often try to solve any problem that comes our way. We offer solutions, and we even offer our opinion, even when it's not asked. What the reality is that most people don't want a solution. They just want to be heard. They don't want your opinion. They just want you to understand where they are coming from. When you can do this, people will feel so much more connected to you. It is really powerful. Let me give you another example on how being empathetic can help you with your wife or significant other. You come home from work and your wife is upset. She just found out that her mom hurt her leg and she's in the hospital. Let's do multiple choice on this one. You should respond with A, "Well, at least it's not cancer. A broken leg is fixable." B, "I remember when my dad hurt his leg. The recovery shouldn't be too long." Or C, "Sometimes old people fall. It's just something that happens. None of these are good. Not one of those responses shows any empathy whatsoever. What you can say is something like, oh, I can see that this really upsets you. I'm so sorry that your mom has to go through this. Is there anything I can do to help? The difference on how she will respond to you is night and day. She doesn't need a solution. She doesn't need to hear your opinion on how you can make it better. She wants empathy. And when you provide that empathy, that's the difference. And us men, we don't typically respond this way, but it's the right way. It's the best way. It's the way that you need to respond. I want to give you a couple tips on how to make the most out of your newfound use of empathy. Number one, it needs to be genuine. You really need to see the situation from their perspective. Listen to them. It might take practice, but it's worth it. It needs to be genuine. Number two, don't judge. You don't have to agree, and your opinion doesn't matter. This is for them and your relationship with them, so don't judge. Number three, connect. Verbalize that you can feel or see how upset they are. Offer them understanding and connect with them. Remember, empathy is not the same as sympathy. Sympathy typically involves feeling pity or sorrow for someone, versus empathy is putting yourself in the other person's perspective and feeling it as the other person. Empathy is much stronger in creating connections. I strongly encourage you to practice empathy as much as you can. As a result, you will see all of your relationships improve. Well, that's all we have for today. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click on that notification bell, and share this video on social media. We want to hear from you. Do you struggle with being empathetic? Or can you provide some great examples on when empathy helped you connect with someone? Leave your feedback in the comment section below. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.